All right, folks. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our 103rd 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtable. Actually, this is not the 102nd, Maureen. It's 103rd strategy roundtable. And we are going to be working with a couple of entrepreneurs, but we're going to follow a slightly different format today. We're going to do a segment on a very cool technology that I want to share with you and show you what we are doing with it. So first, you probably know, all of you, that the mission of 1 million by 1 million is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond around the world, and thus build $1 trillion in global GDP and over 10 million jobs by 2020. And as I keep saying to all of you every time, over and over again, that this is only going to be successful if you guys become successful, thriving, profitable, hugely successful entrepreneurs. Because our role here is to help you succeed, and we succeed when you succeed. So that's kind of the situation that we are in, that we are completely dependent on your success to do what we need to do. So with that, let's jump into something that I want to talk to you about, which is our Twitter strategy. And you've probably seen some of this. Some of you follow us on Twitter. If you follow the @Sramana handle or the @1M by 1M handle, you know that we run a very active Twitter channel. Today, I want to talk to you about an experiment that we ran earlier this week on Tuesday. We had a Twitter event, just like we're having an event here. It's kind of like a talk show, reality show, whatever you call it, where entrepreneurs come and discuss their business strategies with me. Now, in this event that we did on Tuesday, we used a technology platform called Stanzer. And it happens that Stanzer is from a company called Voluble, run by an entrepreneur, Tarek Lewis, who is a 1 million by 1 million premium member. That's how we found out about this technology, and I found it really cool. And Tarek thought that we should do a 1 million by 1 million event on the Stanzer platform. Now, what does the Stanzer platform do? Stanzer is, in a nutshell, very simply put, it's a social chat event platform. So you go to the Stanzer platform and you can basically have a group chat. But the beauty of the group chat is that it gets automatically broadcast into your Twitter stream. So in that session, everything that we were talking about in the room, in the Stanzer room, was being broadcast into Twitter through our Twitter channels. So that's very cool. People are trying to figure out how to leverage Twitter, which is a micro-blogging platform, and people are trying to figure out how to market using Twitter, how to, do PR using Twitter. And I have to say, we have done some very nifty experiments with Twitter, and some of which I discussed earlier on. We run a 200 messages a day Twitter campaign through our Twitter channels. Now, this one, the Stanzer event, was an addition to that particular campaign. And here's what Stanzer looks like. So if you look at the screen, this is a screenshot of what Stanzer looks like. So on the left panel, you have all the controls. The middle panel is where the actual chat is happening, where people are asking questions, and we did it for an hour, and it was a very dynamic, very fast, lots of high content session. And here are the people who are in the chat session. You can even do private direct messages with them. They can use their Twitter channels. All this is integrated into the Stanzer platform. So I started thinking about it after this experiment, after we got a feel for, a hands-on feel for this particular platform. I started thinking about ideas on how we want to use this platform, because we do want to use technology from the 1 million by 1 million entrepreneurs as much as possible, give them as much visibility as possible, and also use them to the benefit of what we are trying to do. So one of the ideas we have is, right now we're probably going to do monthly events on the Stanzer platform, monthly Twitter events on the Stanzer platforms, the same kind of chat Q&A sessions. And this time we did it such that we had a 1M Q&A session. So people came to the session and asked questions about how the 1M program works. And so we can host monthly sessions, and later, if there's enough interest, we can even do weekly sessions. The other thought I have is a lot of our premium members, 1 million by 1 million premium members, are also looking for interesting ways to use Twitter. Now, it so happens that Stanzer is quite an expensive technology, and they are selling to very large companies. And I'm very proud to say that they're getting traction in companies like IBM, SAP, Yahoo. These are massive companies that are evaluating Stanzer for large-scale rollouts within their marketing strategy. So this is not necessarily technology that our 1 million by 1 million members would be able to access that easily without paying lots of money. So what we can do is we can host some of our premium members to discuss their products and services on this monthly or weekly Stanzer chat session, and again, be able to use the APIs and the connections into Twitter really aggressively. So I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think of this? What I just shared with you, something, that's a very fresh, hot off the press kind of idea and experience and experiment. So tell me a bit about what this says to you. My group chat is open. If you want to use your group chat to share, what does this tell you? What ideas trigger in your heads as you listen to me describe what the Stanzer technology is and what we are doing with it in 1 million by 1 million? Anybody? Any thoughts, any ideas? While we have the public chat open for discussion, here are the links, by the way. You can find the link to the public chat that we did on Stanzer as the first link, and the next event that we have scheduled is a month from the first event, and the link is over there. You can register for that event on that link. So Gabrielle says it's a bit premature. It may be a bit premature, but the concept is very simple, right? It's very straightforward. So let me give you an idea about how some of the larger companies are using it or testing this technology. So when you have a lead list that you're nurturing, and this is a very common instance, and we are doing that too, right? Every one of us who are entrepreneurs, we are nurturing certain lead lists. We do lead generation, and then we have to nurture these lead lists and keep our customers moving towards a close, our prospects moving towards a close. So, so in this event, what we wanted to do was bring in people who are somewhere in that lead nurturing funnel and have questions that they want to get clarified so that they can get closer to the closing process. And this is a benefit. This is a function of this event platform that a lot of the large companies are really resonating with. So this is just an example of how we are using the technology. Now I have a question here from Rakesh, who asks, does every chat statement is thrown into Twitter, or can you control which specific ones be broadcast? Yes, you can control, absolutely. So the bar in which you are actually typing the chat session, you have the ability to select whether this particular message goes into Twitter or not. You have complete control over that. So if there's something that you don't want to send into Twitter, you can control it. Any other questions, comments? So, you know, what I would suggest is, yes, it's very early. It's a very early technology. Take a look at the chat transcript that we offer you here on the link. The bit.ly link on top will take you to the chat transcript. And if you will, come and attend the next event so that you can get a first-hand feel for what this technology is all about. Rakesh is saying, oh, now it makes sense. So as sales pitches come in during heat of the moment, you can easily repurpose. Sales pitches are more questions. You know, if you're opening up an event to customers, you're basically taking customer questions, you know, in a group event with a large number of potential customers, prospects in the room who have lots of questions. The chances of one person having a question which at least 10 or 20 other people in the room also have the same question is very high, right? This is the notion of the FAQ, questions that come up over and over again. But the moment it gets discussed in a group's chat session like that, it basically answers everybody's question, and whatever follow-on questions get triggered get discussed in a conversation thread. That's the concept. So one of the thoughts we have is potentially we could, you know, in each of the chat sessions that we host, we could bring in 1 or 2 of our 1 million by 1 million premium members, and we could also host their sales discussions or you know, events on this platform. You understand what I'm saying? Good. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, ideas? We're always looking for ideas of how to leverage technology better, and, you know, creativity of our audience and the community that we have built here. Rakesh, that's a great idea. You have absolutely fabulous idea there. Product managers can really use this to drum up discussion around features, functions, prioritize features, functions. Great, great idea. Yeah, not only evangelize, you know, product managers have 2 roles, right? One is they have to spec out the product, and 2, they have to evangelize the product and bring the product to market. So even in the spec stage, there is the, you know, if all product managers have a whole list of features and functions that they're trying to prioritize, and how cool would it be to get some input from the audience, you know, from a bunch of potential customers to help them prioritize the features and functions. And then again, of course, in terms of evangelizing, it's a very cool technology as well. Yes, it's a great platform also for doing prospect surveys, Jean. That's right. Instant surveys would really help. See, this is what I love about having a discussion with you guys around a concept that is just coming into fruition, that there are so many cool, smart ideas that come out of these discussions. All right, are there any other questions? Otherwise, we're going to move to the next segment of our session today. Any other comments, questions, ideas? Okay, so we are going to do just a second. Jean says this would provide an ability to test and pivot quickly. This is a very, very astute observation. Absolutely. Syed, you are going to be presenting next. So if you could unmute your line and come and share with us what you want to do with MapWide. That's our next segment.
Okay, great.
Go ahead,
Good morning,
Syed.
everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Thank you. Morning, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Excellent, excellent. So I'm in Orange County, California. If we can go to the next screen. Basically, it's a concept that I've been working on conceptually for about a decade. Been thinking, I've always been interested in the whole online community, the search, the e-marketing, commerce, and so forth. I do have educationally, I am a dentist. I had a successful dental practice in the 1990s and early 2000s. By 2003, sold it just to focus on this project. I've been working on this for quite a while. Basically, we launched this around 07, early 08. The basic concept is each one of these web vertical portals are going to provide a niche market. So we have mapdentist.com, and everything starts with the word map. As we all know, map is a big thing online. It's one of the ways you get directions from one place to the other. So basically, we have mapdentist.com, mapdoctor.com, mapmall.com, mapcoupon.com, mapliving.com, mapjewelry.com, and so forth. Part of the process is that each one of these businesses are linked to the other. So, for instance, you go to, you get into a car crash, God forbid. You go to mapauto.com, and then you may even need an attorney. You go to mapattorney.com, and so forth. So each one is linked together. The goal of this project is to create the next generation in search. Obviously, to get that type of software, you got to spend millions and millions of dollars. We have put millions of dollars into it, which is basically me and my family. Our biggest challenge has been basically I expected us to really get a real good, by like early to mid 2009 to get fully funded, and to be one of the bigger online companies out there. And that didn't happen, obviously. There was a whole bunch of the financial markets and so on and so forth. So I've had to change the model a little bit this way, that way. Now, the basic financial model is subscription-based. So a dentist gets a listing, they get coupons, reviews, a full listing, they get a web presence, and they pay it per month. Anywhere between $99 to $199 a month, $199 a month. And this goes for each category. So mapattorney.com, it's one fee, so on and so forth. One challenge is that. The other challenge is marketing these sites and getting a good nationwide presence, and then down the road, maybe global. It's very challenging for all the consumers to know about you. And we've tried to be clever that way using social media and so forth. Now we're looking at strategic partnerships, which is basically working with companies that we can help and they can help us. So whether they have software or they have really good marketing or they got real good social media like this company you were mentioning, and we can help them, they can help us. And that's kind of where we're at. I hope that makes sense.
Syed, I think there are lots of absolute gross errors in how you bring a product to market in what I'm hearing here. So I can let you complete your presentation and then give you feedback. Maybe that's the best way to do it. So
I think that, okay, so yeah, oh, sorry, I should have told. Okay, so here you see all the map verticals, nationwide, worldwide. We want to brand mapwide.com, which is going to be like our Google site, our Yahoo site, leading to all the others. Then the next slide is So you have, mapdentist.com would be for dentist, map attorney would be attorney.
So, Syed, let me ask you a very fundamental question. Who cares about mapping all the dentists on the planet?
That's a great question. What happens is a lot of these dentists, small businesses, to get a web presence, it costs a lot of money. And part of the strategy is to get a web presence at a very affordable price. So one is that so you get a full listing. One. The other thing is we were one of the first ones that for each one of these professions we offered coupons per zip code. The dentist not only would get a listing, but they could offer a coupon that they could change every day of the week. So mapdine.com is a restaurant industry. They can do the coupons and so forth. So as a consumer, it's an alternative to the search engines, which are kind of boring right now. You got the Google and a couple others.
This is just not how a business can be built. We have a terminology for what you've done in 1 million by 1 million. We call it spray and pray, and our whole philosophy of the 1 million by 1 million methodology is to do not spray and pray. You can never build a business this way. You have to pick one customer and solve one problem. This is completely all over the place. Map dentist, map attorney. No one's going to come to map dentist because consumers do not go to a map to look for a dentist. They look for a dentist in their location, wherever in their locality, and they need a dentist who's in their insurance network. That is the way people look for dentists. So typically, if you're looking for a dentist in your locality, you're going to go to your insurance provider's site and you're going to look for a dentist that is within the network that is in your zip code. This is how people look for dentists. They don't look for dentists by going to a mapdentist.com website. Consumers just don't work that way.
You see, this is the area that I think we're going to fill a niche. Because basically, I believe it's about 70% of individuals don't have dental insurance in this country. So that's one. The second aspect is a lot of dental practices, because, I am a dentist myself, they don't have a true web presence. So with us, you go to mapdentist.com, you put in a zip code, and you find a group of dentists. And in there, you find the reviews. You won't find that in the insurance company page. You find reviews. You also find some coupons for basically cosmetic procedures which are not covered, i.e. teeth whitening, so on and so forth. So this is part of the thing that we're gonna the need that's out there. There is a lot of need.
Hold on, Syed, just a second. So let's drill down on Map Dentist. If that's your thesis, you have mapdentist.com up and running right now? You understand the dental business, yes?
Yeah, it's been up for about 3, almost 4 years now. Yes.
And how is it doing? What kind of traffic do you have? How much business is it doing? How much money are you making off that site?
We have, when it went up, we made about, the revenue has not been significant because we've done several different strategies. We have signed up dentists where they've paid us. This is the area that, the basic thing is getting the consumer to know about our sites. Now, we've used some social media strategies. We even had over 100 people nationwide from Hawaii to New York to North Carolina, Minnesota, so forth, as regional directors and so on. Our biggest challenge was we needed a couple million for the marketing strategy to really take hold and for this last step. And we had some, right now, we had some pretty good senior level people in the company. In 2011, we've basically, all the sites we've changed. So we've kind of changed some of the models around to automate the system, to make it more interactive, and so that's kind of where we're at right now. We're kind of doing a relaunch.
So how much revenue does the company do today?
The revenue is less than $100,000 a year.
And what kind of cost structure do you have? How much money do you need to, what is your burn rate?
The burn rate, it's about $50,000-$60,000 a month.
50,000-60,000 a month?
Yeah.
Syed, you're going to have to completely restructure this company and cut that burn rate down drastically. And you're going to need to focus on whichever of your map dentist or map optometry or whatever site that is producing revenues. Which one is producing the most revenue right now?
Well, in 2011, we decided we changed the whole site. So we are about to do a relaunch. The person who's working on the sales strategy, he basically started part of the whole Motorola telemarketing branch, and he's got several $100 million of sales experience. And I've been working with him, and this is where we're at, where we're basically relaunching it. And we're at the final stages, I hope in the next couple of weeks, that we're going to go out there and kind of focus on a couple of locations, a couple of cities, and really start doing the sales one by one.
So when you're doing this relaunch, what is the model? What is the business model of this company?
Sure. The model is going to be, one is we're going to have, we're really going to focus on mapbusiness.com, because then basically every business can get listed on it. We're going to do it at a lower fee, around $25 a month. So every business out there, so if you have any company can list themselves. Get a web presence.
It's a completely wrong strategy. You're going to flush another couple of $1 million down the toilet if you do that.
Well, it's going to be, we're going to do map business with the other verticals. So if you're a dentist, you get listing on 2 places. That's kind of where we're going.
If I were you, I would do just one vertical and really figure out how to make that vertical work, including business model, sales model, customer acquisition model, everything. If you try to go this broad, you're not going to get anywhere. Okay. This is going to continue to be a spray and pray problem.
Yeah.
Your strategy is wrong. It is not going to work.
Yeah.
It is not going to work. From my experience, this is not going to work.
Yeah, that's his. Okay, so this was good. So we're kind of here at this stage, and then this is the last one, the value proposition, and I think, is there one more slide after this?
Your value proposition also is not crisp enough. I would take one vertical and really work out the proposition for that vertical. I think you do understand the dentist business, and if I would encourage you to really think through the Map Dental site and how you would actually really build the dentist, the uninsured, the consumers who are uninsured, who don't have dental insurance, looking for dentists to take care of routine stuff, checkups and teeth cleaning, teeth whitening, whatever the hell it is. That's where I would focus and really work out the details of exactly how you build that business and put everything else in the back burner.
Yeah. Now, is there, is the last slide are some of the questions I had for you. If we can go to the last slide. Okay. And then there's one more after this. Yes. This is kind of, our biggest thing is we want to be out there for each one of these industries, getting strategic partners. Like in MapAuto.com.
You may want it. That's not going to happen. You may want it. It's not going to happen because no one's going to take you seriously because you don't have anything compelling in any of these industries right now.
Well, that's where the aspect of mutual strategic partnership goes in, where they can help us in one way.
No one is going to want to partner with you because you don't bring anything to the table yet.
I think we can, yeah, I think, once we, maybe down
An idea, people do not build strategic partnerships based on ideas. People strike strategic partnerships on the basis of concrete value propositions. If you have something, it's basically you need a currency with which to strike a strategic partnership. A strategic partner will only consider working with you if you bring something to the table. Right now, you're not bringing anything to the table.
I think, okay, so, yeah, is there any, okay, I think, I will give you some other information that I can forward it to you down the road, and we can discuss it. Because I think we do bring a lot to the table for any of our partners. I mean, they're in these different industries. What we have is basically a network nationwide, and we have done marketing, so on and so forth. So each one of these verticals, there are a lot of companies that we can possibly do things with.
Well, so your time for this session is up. I can only work with you further if you're part of the 1 million by 1 million program. So if you hold on, I will talk about the premium program later on in the show. I need to work with another entrepreneur right now.
Thank you so much for your time.
Just a quick, last thought is, if you do decide to work with us, one of the things I would like to see as a next step is what are the real concrete achievements of the company in terms of metrics. If in terms of a dental network, how many dentists do you have on the program? How many are paying customers? What kind of activities happening? How many consumers do you have on that portal? And those kinds of statistics which will help us figure out where to place your bets, which, if you do that analysis of which of your portals has real traction, we're going to have to spring off of that to build a strategy of how to take you to some sort of a defensible strategic position in segments. Right now, you're in too many segments. That's my observation. You're in too many segments, and you can't possibly make this model work by being in that many segments.
Thank you so much for your time. That was great. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Nirupama, can you please unmute your line?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Nirupama, go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't completely prepared. I'm just trying to get some help on customer segmentation. So let me start with the idea itself, right? Mm-hmm. So I have a few slides, but I didn't want to send you something incomplete. It's not really done. I'm doing a lot of market analysis now, as per your advice.
Yeah. So folks, let me just give you a little bit of context about Nirupama's situation. She's actually a premium member, and she has this idea of actually has some technology already built for managing niche social networks for some constituency, and she's trying to figure out which constituency should she go for. So she's trying to actually segment the market, same as what Syed is struggling with, is where do you go and position the business. Nirupama is working on figuring out where to position, what segment to position a niche social network technology to. And the first idea she had is PTA portals, so parent-teacher association portals for schools. That's one of the segments that she's evaluating, but she's also evaluating some other segments. So Nirupama, what other segments are you looking at?
Yeah, so what I have built, right, is really something that will enable a private network, something like Facebook, but which is private, right? Anything that can be done in terms of groups and collaboration among group members or collaboration among a whole team, and having all kinds of feeds if needed, right? And sharing of documents, and this is what most groups need when they collaborate in geographically distributed locations, or they're working from home, or any such situation. So, Sramana, after I did the analysis like you suggested, I sent some slides over to Maureen now. I know it's a little too late, but you know, there are so many players in this market. That's what I mean, it's mind-boggling, Sramana. You asked me a question, is there a market for this? And there seems to be. I have not paid attention to this, but this market is like, it's supposed to be a multi-billion-dollar market, okay, overall. Now, that's where I'm confused, and I guess I need to position myself in a really small place where I can also solve someone's problem, right? So, see, if you look at Facebook for Enterprise, they already have Chatter, Social Text, Jive, Social Castable. I found 50 companies literally doing this.
Yes, the enterprise social network space is completely full. I wouldn't even suggest that you think about it. This is a don't even think about it situation. Enterprise social network, Yammer, Chatter, it's full, completely full.
Right.
Don't go there. Enterprise social networks. So what other what other segments are you evaluating?
Okay, so what I have built basically enables collaboration and in any private niche network, but I don't want it to be for hobbyists. In a way, it has to be more serious than hobbyists. See, that's what Ning tried to do, and they failed. I feel like they couldn't monetize it at all. So I want to go after small businesses if possible, that's where I'm trying to find out, get a geographically distributed business, you know, like maybe Thai or some org which has entrepreneurs all over the world, and they need to talk to each other and help each other out. Some business like that. And but I'm not able to. I asked several small businesses around my area, and they can't even fathom what I'm talking about. So they are too low end. You know.
So let me give you some pointers. Nirupam, let me give you some pointers. This is one of the reasons I wanted to have an interim conversation with you before you go too far out there to kind of give you some constraints within which to work. So one thing that you came and asked me a few weeks ago, what is our plan for the 1 million by 1 million social network?
Seriously.
And I told you that we are probably going to do it in 2 steps. And one of them is we haven't done it yet, we could just do a LinkedIn group, members only LinkedIn group, and use that as a social network. And a members only Facebook group and use that as a social network. You told me that then the content is all going to be on Facebook and LinkedIn, and you would not be able to get access. You wouldn't have any access to it, which is a correct observation, and that is one of the reasons we haven't done that. And now, having said that, what are the requirements of a private members-only social network? And this is a possibility that you should explore, is private members-only social networks, professional networks, actually not even social networks, professional networks for membership organizations. So you need to you need to kind of do a market testing on various membership organizations and see what they're looking at, what they're looking for in terms of what are their options today. So today, let's say I say that, okay, I'm looking for a members-only social network platform, professional network platform, a la some combination of LinkedIn and Facebook that I would like to run on my domain. I'm not going to put it on your domain. It has to be on my domain. So one of the things that I see is BuddyPress, which is WordPress's extension for a social network, is an open source software that is available.
Absolutely.
So our network today is all on WordPress. So BuddyPress is a natural extension of that. The questions that come to my mind is, one, authentication. We have to make sure that only authenticated premium members can get into this portal. The second thing is, in that we want to bring in some of the identity information and activity information and profile information from LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, those kinds of places. So we don't want to have our members rebuild the whole resume profile and background or bio and all that. We just want to be able to have them display their LinkedIn information within the network so that other people can get to know one another and network using LinkedIn. Facebook, if there's a, if people want to use some of Facebook's features, is there a way to do that? Like Facebook now has chat, right? So if these members who are in this private network, if they want to just chat amongst themselves, people who are online, the same way that Facebook is now offering chat, LinkedIn doesn't offer that kind of chat yet. Is that something that your platform is going to offer? These are questions. I'm just, I'm kind of giving you some sense of what is going on in the head of somebody who's contemplating building a private members-only social network or a professional network. Right? So I'm giving you function requirements.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, but I'll tell you something. These are the minimum requirements. We can easily provide this authentication, OpenID, and there are a lot of things. Believe me, that you can bring everything in, all the networks you want, you can bring it in. Okay. Nowadays they have APIs and also plugins, especially that people have open source plugins available to do all this. But again, you have some maybe custom requirements. Your look and feel will be definitely has to blend in with the 1M and 1N look and feel. You don't want it to go and sit like. So you need some custom building on top of whatever I will give you. Okay, I cannot give you your themes and look and feel and maybe some more features like the premium members have to want something to do with entrepreneurship. There's some requirement. Okay, they want to. And there is in parent organizations, teacher organizations, they don't collaborate as much, but they do to a great extent. But I think your entrepreneurs probably would collaborate at a much higher scale than this, right?
The reason, just a second, the reason I showed you the example, or we walked through this example of 1 million by 1 million. You can't build a business just servicing 1 million by 1 million, but 1 million by 1 million is representative of a paid membership network, right?
I agree.
So now you need to find, one of the homeworks I'm going to give you out of this session is to go find 100 members-only clubs. Okay, paid membership clubs. And you are going to need to go talk to them. And you're going to need to design a questionnaire of what questions do you want to ask, and you can run that by me at a follow-on roundtable. What does your questionnaire look like? And you are going to need to test your market on what does the market look for in this kind of an environment. There are tons of members-only membership organizations. And I would like you to, if you want, club membership, exactly, clubs. And membership clubs where people are actually paying to be part of that club. And what I want you to do is go figure out your competitive landscape just in that context. If a membership organization is looking to build a professional network, what software as a service offering are they evaluating? So your competitive landscape is not enterprise social networks. It is not, consumer social networks or hobbyist social networks. Right now, you are evaluating something very specific, which is a members-only social network where people who have paid club memberships are going to use your technology to build their networks. And what is the competitive landscape? If you constrain yourself with that segmentation, what is your competitive landscape? Does that make sense?
I can't even imagine. I mean, I know very few, but most of them are for for gyms or entertainment that I can think of.
No, but hundreds and thousands of professional organizations all over the place. This is what professional organizations do, is bring people together. All the way from electronic design, a professional organization around electronic design, to professional organizations which has to deal with, I don't know, clean tech organization. There's a clean tech forum in San Francisco that is a membership organization. There are all sorts of membership organizations all over the place. There are a bunch of alumni associations that are membership organizations as well. I know our alumni association, the MIT Club of Northern California, is a membership organization that you have to pay to be a member of. Most alumni associations are membership organizations.
Okay, I will look at that.
You could even look at the alumni associations of the top business schools, top 100, 200, 500 business schools. You can look at the alumni associations of those and talk to them and see what are they doing in terms of their facilitating professional networking amongst their alumni.
Okay, yeah, great. The only thing is, a question I have is, many of these people are opening up groups on LinkedIn. I see thousands of groups on LinkedIn for all kinds of alumni, this kind of stuff, right? Professional organizations.
Right.
And would they be interested in a paid, solution like this?
I don't know. That is your market validation. That's the first reaction. But there is, I know that LinkedIn does not service all my requirements. There is functionality that I will be putting in to a social network that is going to carry the 1 million by 1 million community. That is not going to be, LinkedIn is not going to be enough for what I want to do. So the question, this is a good thing for you to evaluate. Go into LinkedIn for all the professional organizations, membership organizations that you're evaluating. Go into LinkedIn and see if they already have set up a LinkedIn group. Then go talk to the administrator of that group and find out what they have to say in terms of what are the limitations of what are they trying to do, and what are the limitations that they're facing with LinkedIn that they would like to do in a private social network or private professional network. This is your market validation strategy, essentially.
Okay, that sounds good. Great.
Let's open up the public chat and let's ask the audience, what do you think? So you've heard a concept that is going through validation being discussed here. So do you have other ideas of how to validate this concept and position this opportunity? PTA portals probably is not the direction that Nirupama should go. This was her original idea, is to develop PTA portals. And I think she's kind of moving away from PTA portals now and evaluating membership organizations, private social network or private professional network. So given that context, given that thesis, what ideas do you guys have in the audience? Please feel free to use the group chat to share your ideas. Anybody? Any thoughts? No, this is not a Ning network, plain and simple. Ning is a platform that's on the Ning platform. You cannot have, I cannot do 1 million by 1, I cannot pick up Ning and put it on the 1 million by 1 million domain. weplay.com as one of the what is weplay.com, Shekhar? Can you give us a quick one-line description of what weplay.com is? It's a portal for kids' playgroups. But kids' playgroups do not have a requirement that it needs to be a branded portal on a different domain. There's a big difference. Kids' play could easily exist on Ning, right? I don't think WePlay would have the same kind of requirements. There are very, very specific branding requirements and functionality requirements for a members-only branded club, so to speak. So 1 million by 1 million would never put its network on Ning or even LinkedIn or Facebook. We need to do something that's our own. And the question is, what platform do we build that network on? And their MIT Alumni Association, for instance, yes, there are. I just got an email this morning from LinkedIn saying there are 1,200 MIT alumni in your network on LinkedIn. Great, but I don't know how to use that network. They haven't really given me a good way to use that network. I can search for these people, but they're not automatically all connected to me or anything. I mean, you know, it's a. I think LinkedIn probably will do something in that area. I think they're going in that direction. They're going to do something in the alumni network world that is more intense, more, you know, higher functionality to facilitate the alumni collaboration and alumni communication. Do you know anyone managing the alumni network? Oh yeah, I used to run MIT entrepreneurship program. I know, you know, if you go to mitcnc.org, all the officers of the MIT Alumni Network are listed there. I know tons of people in that team, on that team. Nirupama, you have a question from Rakesh who's asking, when you say branding can be customized, how much flexibility is available in your technology? You had a similar problems related to engineering design services website. Yeah, so these are some of the issues that need to be sorted out in the product scoping. The other idea that I suggested for Nirupama to explore is, let's say, you know, right now there are thousands of software as a service companies and small technology companies, basically. And what about the notion of private user groups? If you have a small software as a service company, what about a private network for your customers? All right, I'm going to let you guys chat, and in the meantime, let me cover another segment of the session. We can come back to Q&A some more afterwards. So, so folks, one of the things we need from you in 1 million by 1 million, as I said right up front, we will be able to succeed in achieving the 1 million by 1 million mission of helping 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue only if you are successful as entrepreneurs in building successful, sustainable businesses. So we need more of you. We need more really serious entrepreneurs who would follow the 1 million by 1 million methodology and become successful. So that's help we need from you. Please bring at least 10 serious entrepreneurs into 1 million by 1 million. And by serious entrepreneurs, I mean entrepreneurs who have the work ethic and the mettle to really do this. Entrepreneurship is very difficult. You know, you've heard me say this before probably. Entrepreneurship is not for sissies. Most people give up when the going gets rough, and the going will get rough. Entrepreneurship is tough, really tough. So we want people who really have the courage and the resilience to do this. So I will tell you a little bit about the resources in the 1 million by 1 million premium program, and the program in general, free and premium. So the site, the 1M1M site is 1m1m.sramanamitra.com. The first level of resources, the absolute basic level of resources are on our blog, that's sramanamitra.com. The blog has been around for actually much longer than the premium, the 1M1M program. It's been around for over 6 years. And there's a ton of case studies, role model stories, lessons, trend analysis, all sorts of things on the blog that you can access for free. Then we have the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, of which we have published 4 volumes. And these are books that deal with some specific topics. These are written in form of case studies and some synthesis. The first volume has a dozen case studies. The second volume is focused on bootstrapping case studies, bootstrapping weapon of mass reconstruction. In fact, one of the case studies in the second volume is the story of Greg Gianforte and Right Now. It's a fantastic bootstrapping story. Greg just sold his company Right Now to Oracle for over $1 billion this week. And it's, I don't know the exact numbers of how much money Greg has made off that, but he has made a tremendous amount of money because he has so much ownership in the company still. And the company went public several years ago, had a very, very successful run. The third volume is positioning, how to test, validate, and bring your idea to market. Now, we believe that bootstrapping and positioning are the 2 absolute cornerstone philosophies of 1 million by 1 million. The only way you can do capital efficient, lean entrepreneurship, lean, capital efficient, very cash efficient entrepreneurship and time efficient entrepreneurship is by doing precise laser sharp positioning and creative bootstrapping. So we really emphasize those 2 points. The 4th volume is Innovation Need of the Hour. Now these books are all available on Amazon and Kindle all around the world. And if you're in India, you can also get them ordered from Flipkart. As I said, the blog is sramanamitra.com. Now, every Thursday, we have these free strategy roundtables. So you can come and pitch at the roundtable anytime you want, any week you want. And we've done over 100 roundtables. Over 7,000 people have attended these sessions. And I have personally coached over 400 entrepreneurs. So these roundtables have been going for a long time. We've helped a lot of people through them. And they are free, so you have nothing to lose to use these sessions to, you know, get some validation of your ideas, get some feedback on your strategy. And like I did with Syed today, if I see that you're going down the wrong path, I will tell you so. It may not be pleasant to hear in the moment, but it is the best thing I can do for you instead of wasting, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars or, you know, 6, 9, 12, 18 months of your invaluable life. It's better that I tell you when you're headed down the wrong path. And if I see, based on my experience, if I see that you're headed down the wrong path, it's better that you get that feedback from me and course correct rather than hitting the wall at a later date after spending an enormous amount of money. Then we have the next layer of service we have is the premium program, and that's $1,000 annual membership fee. It's a club membership kind of model, and we have a whole lot of unlimited amount of services within that program. We have a extensive methodology guidance. We have a curriculum, which is video lectures and case studies that teaches the 1 million by 1 million methodology. We help you with business development, introductions to customers, channel partners, and connecting whatever dots make sense to connect. We have private versions of these roundtables that are strategy consulting sessions very similar to what you saw today. And we also help with financing. We introduce you to investors as and when you are ready, and if you are a fundable company. And we also do a lot of media relations for you. We have tremendous amount of presence in the media, syndicated columns, all sorts of shows. So I have a lot of speaking engagement, all sorts of things through which we can help you get your company known. And what I described earlier on in the show about what we're doing with Stanzer, we are basically doing a co-branded event on the Stanzer platform. And as a result, lots of people are getting to know the Stanzer platform because of our involvement in the project. Now, one of the first things I'm going to have you do as soon as you become a premium member is to do the 1 million by 1 million self-assessment. This is a 9-point program where you have to ask yourself and answer some very fundamental questions in the domain of validation, positioning, market sizing, bootstrapping, everything. And with each of these questions, there are curriculum modules that we have provided you with. So if there are gaps in your understanding of how to do each of those pieces of analysis, you will be able to find curriculum modules to refer to get through that exercise. So my recommendation would be, as soon as you come into the premium program, spend a weekend or 5-6 days to really thoroughly go through the self-assessment. That will help you calibrate where you need work. And then you can get to the next layers, come and pitch at a private roundtable and get feedback, and I'll give you bits, bite-sized pieces of work, assignments, pointers to what you should do, where you should steer your next level of development. And the whole point is to help you learn how to put one foot before the other. I mean, we have companies that are already doing 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, some even over 1 million or 2 million in revenue. And each of them has the same agenda, is to grow to the next level. If you're at 100,000, we need to get you to 250,000. If you're at 250,000, we need to get you to 500,000. If you're at 500,000, we need to get you to 1 million. So on and so forth. And if you're just at an idea level, we need to get you to validate the idea and decide whether this idea is what you want to spend the next couple of years of your life or 5 years of your life, or you want to, or this idea does not have legs and you need to move on to something else. So we work with entrepreneurs at all stages of development, and we will, the program is the curriculum will give you the framework of how to build a business. And you could call this kind of like a crash course MBA focused on early stage entrepreneurship. But beyond that, we also provide you lots of resources that are very specific to your business or your business idea. Now, on the site, you find a couple of things useful as you're evaluating whether you want to join the premium program or not. So on the top right corner on the black bar, you have premium program and FAQ. I would take at those. What to expect from the premium program is something that will help you determine what you're looking for, and the FAQ answers a lot of the common questions we get. And folks, remember, the methodology is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. A very good example I'm going to give you is 2 weeks back, we had a premium member who came to talk to me at a private roundtable, and she was ready to trigger a $15,000 product prototype development project. And she came and discussed where she was with me. And I listened to her and I dialogued with her, and I told her, immediately put that investment on hold. That, given your level of understanding of your market and your positioning, today, if you triggered that $15,000 investment, it's going to go down the toilet because you do not really understand who's your customer and what is the product that you're going to build for that customer. So today you will not be able to spec a product with enough depth and detail to make real good use of your $15,000. So if she hadn't spent the time to work within the 1 million by 1 million methodology, she would have spent that $15,000, which would have got her exactly nothing. So it's an example of the kinds of value we provide, and we are very direct. very unsugar-coated in the feedback. But at the end of the day, our goal is to make you successful. So people like it, the fact that we are direct and the fact that we are frank and we're not trying to tell you what you want to hear. Rather, we're trying to steer you in the direction that will help you become successful. That is what people like about the program. Now, here's a quick preview into what you can find in the curriculum itself. The curriculum is video lectures and case studies. It has a core section and an elective section. I suggest all of you do the core curriculum, which is 7 modules. One is bootstrapping, one is positioning, one market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building. And it's all really focused on the philosophy of lean capital efficient startups. So the whole core curriculum will continuously reinforce the philosophy and mechanics and tactics of being successful with that framework in mind. The next piece of the curriculum is the electives. We have a bunch of electives, and those electives are generally aligned with the trends in our industry. We see a tremendous opportunity for building web-based businesses. So Web 3.0 and e-commerce is one of our elective modules. They're going to be, by 2020, they're going to be 5 billion people on the internet. And there's a tremendous opportunity to build web businesses around the world as a result of that. So we have a deep concentration in web-based businesses, cloud computing and business solutions, software as a service, and all variations of cloud businesses is an area where we see a lot of activity and will continue to see a lot of activity. We're very strong there. We have tons of software as a service and cloud companies in the program. Outsourcing and consulting, the nuances are changing. There are different trends, but they will continue to be great opportunities to build sizable businesses. Mobile and social apps, healthcare, IT, online education, gaming, these are all major trends, and we focus on all of them. We work with you on all of them. Each of them have their own elective modules. So as I said, we have case studies and video lectures as the basic format of the curriculum. And what is really cool here is that even though I am delivering the video lectures and synthesizing the methodology for you, what we've done is actually invited several hundred, I'm talking over 500 very, very successful entrepreneurs to come and teach this program with me. So they have come and sat down and shared with me their journeys and what they have learned, where they have been successful. And based on that rich repository of case studies and discussions, what we have done is synthesize the methodology of 1 million by 1 million for you. And it's incredibly powerful. So you could think of it as, several hundred successful entrepreneurs teaching you the 1 million by 1 million program. As I said, we do a lot of business development work. We connect people, connect our entrepreneurs with channel partners, with customers. Our members have been able to get in front of very serious stakeholders, decision makers, who would be very difficult to get to without our involvement, like the CIO of Intel, the CIO of VMware. These are people that are hard to reach, and we've been able to get our clients and our members in front of them. We do, as I said, a lot of PR work. We have lots of ways of putting your brand and your product and your value proposition in front of a very large of consumers, customers, businesses, influencers, analysts, all sorts of people. This is what you have on your screen right now is a message that an entrepreneur wrote to me on my Facebook page after coming and pitching at one of these roundtables. And he said, a few years ago, he raised a large chunk of angel financing. And he did a lot of things in the wrong sequence. And he burned through all that money. And he said, if I had access to 1 million by 1 million when I had raised that financing, I would have been a successful entrepreneur by now. And the moral of that story is, be very careful about how you use your resources. Don't burn through your resources in a way that is not going to result in concrete milestones and just going to burn through the cash. We work with a lot of incubators. MAD Incubator is just one of our partners in Malaysia. We also have a very concrete affiliate program, where we work with incubators and other entrepreneurship development organizations around the world, and we pay a 10% affiliate commission to our affiliate partners. In fact, some of you who are in the program today from Israel, Arlene Marom is working with us as an affiliate, and she's doing a great job in Israel. We have 3 free roundtables in November 3rd, November 10th, and November 17th. And please feel free to use those sessions to come and discuss your ideas with me. That's pretty much what I have in terms of the formal program. This is a last mention of a book that those of you who are interested in India or in developing economies, Vision India 2020 is a book with $45 billion business ideas. And it's written as if we are set in 2020. We're sitting in 2020 looking back on building these businesses. And they span across various different industries. And it's a very interesting set of ideas that have been mapped out quite strategically already. So you'll find a lot of strategy guidance in there. And we have a module in 1 million by 1 million to work on the Vision India 2020 ideas. And some people are using these ideas and morphing their own based on those. So you're very welcome to take any of these ideas and build on them. That's why I've published these ideas. So that's pretty much it on the formal program. Let me answer some questions from the group chat. Meanwhile, I want to thank all our partners. We have a lot of partners all over the world, media partners like Read Write Web, corporate partners like Microsoft, BizSpark, Startup America Partnership, MIT Club of Northern California, various angel networks, various chapters of TIE, Persistent Systems is another corporate partner, MAD Incubator, and so on and so forth. And of course, our technology partner for these sessions is VView so far. VView has just got acquired by Polycom, by the way. So that's pretty much it. Let me look at the questions. So Nirupama is saying, what is your advice on applying for seed financing for ideas that are validated? If you have a validated idea that is getting sufficient amount of traction that you can attract seed financing, we will be happy to help you navigate the seed financing process. We have lots of companies who go through that process, and that's just fine. But most companies don't do enough validation work ahead of time and go to investors too early. They insist on going to investors too early, and as a result, they get rejected by all the investors. Nirupama is saying, I know you advise bootstrapping, but it's very hard to work on a day job as well as do full justice to a venture. Yeah, absolutely, that is very true. So the question is, are you ready to use your savings to do the bootstrapping full time? At a point where you have enough idea that, yes, you have an idea that has legs, you can jump in and invest some of your savings to do the bootstrapping. But I can tell you this, if you're expecting some investor to finance your bootstrapping stage, that's just not going to happen. You're going to have to do that with friends and family financing or your own personal savings. There's no other way to do bootstrapping. Any other questions or comments? Anybody else? Nirupa, you can listen to the recording after the show. It's fine. Nirupama is asking, realistically, how much time do you think I need to validate an idea? That depends entirely on how much time you put in a day. I don't, 6 months, a year, I don't know, because I don't know how much time you're putting into working on this. Eight hours a day, you should be able to validate it within a month or 15 days. In fact, we don't want you to drag on your validation process too long and waste time. Okay, any other questions, comments? Otherwise, we can wrap up the room and get on with our day. Okay, looks like no other questions. Irina, if you could put in your phone number and your Skype ID into the group chat. Folks, those of you who are interested in joining the 1 Million by 1 Million premium program and would like to speak with somebody, Irina is going to take your call, whether it's a Skype call or a phone call, and she's going to give you her Skype ID and her phone number, and you can get in touch with her after the show and discuss your issues, your situations, your challenges, and she will help you figure out how 1 Million by 1 Million can help you. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining the show today, and we will see you next week.